guys, so today I'm doing my mental health question and answer video, and I can do more like these in the future if you guys care, I don't know. But I asked you guys probably a month ago to leave me some questions, like mental health related questions and then personal questions. So I already did the personal Q&A, so I have a card on the screen so you guys can watch that if you are interested, but this is going to be mental health based. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about my personal experience. I also filmed this story time video probably a week after I asked for questions, so like very end of October. And I really want to post it, but I'm a bit nervous. I think I need to rewatch it and figure out whether or not I was like too emotionally driven while making that video or not. But it is about like how to deal with having a suicidal friend, and in the story time I am that friend. So if you guys do want to see that video, give this a thumbs up and let me know in the comments down below. I just talk about like personal experience and give some tips and advice for anyone who may know someone who has suicidal tendencies, has talked about suicide, or maybe is really depressed and you're a bit worried. The video may be helpful, I have no idea, but it is really personal, so I'm like a little on the fence about posting it. But if you guys do want to see it, then I will definitely put that up. But I'm gonna go ahead and dive into these questions. So thank you guys for asking me these questions. Usually I will do them on my Instagram or my Snapchat, but this time I just posted a video and asked you guys to leave them in the comments. So every now and then I do that to get a different like mixture of people, but I'm gonna get started. So the first question is from Taryn Jane Samuels, and she said, hey, just curious, what kind of mental health issues do you suffer for, and what's your Snapchat? My Snapchat is it's Lawenwoss. I'm not really using it that much right now though. I've switched to using Instagram for whatever reason, so definitely just follow me on Instagram because I rarely post on my Snapchat nowadays. But mental health, I suffer from severe depression and anxiety. I might have a mood disorder as well. Literally, who even knows? I'm actually getting evaluated this Friday at Shepherd Pratt to find out what's wrong with me, so that's exciting. But definitely depression. I've suffered from severe depression since my junior year of high school, on and off. Depression is the type of thing that like never really goes away. So if anything happens, sometimes I'll go through phases, sometimes I'll have like months where I'm not okay, and sometimes I'll just have days, so it's very random. And then I also suffer from anxiety. I wouldn't say it is severe, but it is more than like the typical like being anxious over something. Like I do have anxiety. It is something that I deal with every single day. It's just not like crippling anxiety, which is good, but it tends to flare up a little more when I am going through a depression phase, just because those go hand in hand for me. So those are my issues. We have a question from Erica Aguirre, and they said, how do you handle stress? How do you handle school and mental health issues? It's a constant battle for me. So I'm probably not the best person to ask about this because I'm taking 2 classes this semester, because at the beginning of the semester I literally told my parents, I was like, I physically cannot take any classes. Like I didn't want to take any classes at all. I wanted to take the entire semester off. I'm so glad that I didn't, because I think I'm through the rough patch now. It literally lasted a good like 4 months. It was like end of August to like mid-November, I don't know, 3 months, whatever. It felt like a decade. So I'm glad that I didn't do that, because I am so impulsive and I make decisions that I always end up regretting. So I would say that, what was the question again? I'm such a mess. How do I handle school and mental health? You just have to find a balance. School and education is very important, but your mental health is also important. And I think it is important to put your mental health above everything whenever possible, because if you're not alive, you can't really be doing things. So you want to make sure that you are okay before you focus on things that are going to help you like in the long run, because if you're not here, then those things don't matter. Not to say that everyone commits suicide just because they have mental health issues. If you're in high school, try and talk to your counselor, your principal, see what you can do. If you're in college, that's really up to you, up to your parents, whoever's paying for your tuition, what you want to do with that. But definitely getting help is something that will be helpful. Jordan Lovely asked, what helps you get your mental health under control? Well, I think the easiest way to answer this question is actually to tell you the opposite of what you asked. I have triggers, and I have very, very specific triggers. One of them is going to sound so stupid, but it's men. They're a huge, huge trigger for me. Like, guy friends are usually fine, but I had an entire friendship fall apart with a guy because of my situation, and it was just a mess. And that's actually the story that I wanted to tell you guys. But men are a huge trigger. They literally, I don't know why, but they fuck with my head so much. So men are a huge trigger, so I try and separate myself from my triggers naturally. So I'm not friends with that person anymore. Second trigger would definitely be any like stressful situations that I am worried about going into and going into them anyways. Like, I will do things that I know I probably shouldn't do, and then I do them, and then something bad happens, and then I end up stressed out over what happens. So making good quality decisions would be a good thing. The last thing is self-medicating and self-harming. Homegirl had a massive self-harm problem. I think the first time, trigger warning, the first time that I ever cut myself was, I think it might have actually been in middle school, but we're not gonna talk about that because that was like nothing. That was like me trying to get attention from some other guy that like cut himself. Very, very odd middle school person. Let's not get into me back in middle school. But I think the first time was my junior year of high school. That was senior, freshman, 5 years ago, and I cannot stop. So if you're even thinking about starting for whatever reason, I'm gonna tell you right now, don't, because you will never be able to stop. It is such an addiction, and I would go months without doing it, and then I would do it, and then I'd do it for weeks, and then I'd stop and go months without doing it, and then I would do it for months, and then I would stop. I cannot stop, and like, I'm okay right now. I don't think I have self-harmed since the end of October, I think. No, yes, end of October. I think it was Halloween weekend. It was like that Thursday, the 27th or something like that. I don't know, it doesn't really matter. But I know that if anything drastic happens, it's gonna be the first thing that I think about. So highly recommend not doing that, but that was a serious issue that I had. And then self-medicating with alcohol and weed. I've been smoking weed since my senior year of high school. I love it. It does make you feel better. And if you aren't codependent on it, I think it can actually help. I wouldn't recommend using it, but it definitely helped me. Alcohol, on the other hand, not a good thing. Just don't even try, because if you have an addictive personality like I do, and alcoholism runs in my family, it's gonna become a huge issue. I would literally probably go through a handle of alcohol like a week. Yeah, that was a long ramble, but to answer your question, cutting out triggers is what helps me. We have a question from N. Roberts, and they said, how do you go about mental health in a new relationship? I would be straight up with them at the beginning, kind of let them know what they're getting into, because some people can't handle it. And if I do post this storytime video that I keep bringing up, definitely watch it, because I kind of talk about that. It wasn't a relationship, it was a friendship, but it's still some sort of relationship. And there's a lot of red flags that can come up, and you can save yourself a lot of trouble, both parties a lot of trouble, if you just have communication and understanding that you are not completely in control of the way that you feel. And if you're projecting on the other person, it is not on purpose. It is like you're mindlessly doing it, basically. So just be straight up about it at the very beginning. Don't like sit them down and be like, hey, so, because they're gonna like freak out, and it's really not that big of a deal. A lot of people suffer from mental illnesses. It's totally normal nowadays. So just be chill about it, and hopefully they'll understand. If they don't understand, well, then you shouldn't be in a relationship with them, because it's something that you cannot control. You can get medicated, you can get help, but you're still gonna have that mental illness, and it's still gonna be something that you suffer with every day. And if they don't understand that, then they don't deserve you. My camera is dying, but I'm gonna keep answering questions until it shuts off. Thomas Quinn asked, what triggers your anxiety and panic attacks the most? So I basically answered that question, but panic attacks are a bit different than just like my normal daily anxiety. Daily anxiety, I'm just triggered by just about anything that happens. And panic attacks are usually triggered by small instances. So I don't talk about things because I don't like talking about things. Stuff builds up and I don't talk about it, and it gets worse, and I keep pushing it away and doing things to make myself feel like I'm fine. And then the smallest thing will happen, I'll snap and I'll have a panic attack. And I don't know why I'm having a panic attack, because I'm having it for so many reasons, but it's not like something happened. So an anxiety attack is happening because you are anxious about something and you know what you're anxious about. Whereas a panic attack, it's just random. There's nothing specific that happened that caused this panic, and you can't figure out why you're not okay. So my panic attacks are triggered by just about anything, but it's basically me panicking over everything that has happened in the past few weeks all at one time. We have a question from Lynette Norman, and they said, hi, love your channel. Thanks. I'm currently suffering from depression, insomnia, and anxiety. Do you recommend taking meds? That's gonna be up to you, and that's gonna be up to your psychiatrist whether or not they want to give you meds. I took meds junior year of high school. I took meds for insomnia, I took meds for anxiety and depression. It was like a combo pill, and then I had a sleeping pill. Sleeping pills 100% help, so if you can get a sleeping pill, I would definitely get one, because you'll just get knocked out and it will make your life so much easier. Antidepressants, that's gonna be up to you. A lot of them have some crazy side effects. I hated being on antidepressants because they actually made me suicidal, because my body wasn't regulated to the medication yet. So for the first 2 weeks, sometimes it feels like hell, and I just couldn't deal with it. So I took them for a little bit, and then I cycled off of them just by myself, which you're not supposed to do. But I was fine, I pulled it together, here we are today. And ever since that, I've been like, I don't want to be on meds. But I've had a change of heart, because you get to a point where you're just like so done with feeling the way that you feel. And even though I'm doing a lot better now, I think if I could just get like a mood stabilizer or something, it would make my life so much easier, because I'll have little periods of time where I just like don't feel like myself, and it's just so frustrating, and it's something that I can't fix it myself. Like, I need medication. So if I do get on something, I'll definitely tell you guys about it. I'm gonna wrap up the Q&A with some questions from Craven Moorhead. Do you have specific triggers or events that make controlling your depression more difficult? I do. Probably not any that I could ever talk about, but something happened in September and it set me off, and the next like 2 months after that were just a train wreck. So yes, there was definitely something that happened this time around that made things really, really hard to try and pull myself out of, because I just felt like shit all the time and I hated myself. So that's always fun, like low-key crying all as well. And I'll answer one more. They said, when your friends are worried about you and check up on you, do you ever push them away? No, because my friends are the type of people that will just come to my apartment anyways and force me to talk to them. So I don't really have much of a choice. Or they'll text me until I respond, or they'll call me until I respond, or they'll call my parents, and then my dad will come here and make an entire thing out of it, and it's just not worth it. So I don't push people away. So I hope you have friends like that, because those are the best friends that I could honestly ask for, people who force themselves into my business because I don't want to ask for help and I need it. My camera just died and I have to go to the gym, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up here. If you guys did enjoy, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And if you do want to see that storytime video about how to deal with someone who may be suicidal or super depressed, whatever it may be, I kind of touch on a bunch of topics in that while also telling my own story, then let me know in the comments down below. But that's going to be it for this video, so I'll see you guys in the next one. I love you.